Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray everyone's doing well, inshallah, on this 25th night of Ramadan. And as many of you may be aware, today might be Laylatul Qadr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow all of us to earn the righteous reward of Laylatul Qadr, inshallah. So as many of you might have heard the Shaykh recite, he was reciting in Surah Al Fath. So just to give context on when this surah was revealed. This surah wasn't revealed when Mecca was actually conquested. So this surah originally was revealed in Sulh Hudaybiyah. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the 6th year of Hijrah, he decided with the Sahaba that he's going to go for Umrah. And when he went for Umrah, the people of Quraysh stopped him from entering Mecca. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he really wanted it. And what he did was he asked Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan to go and negotiate with the people of Quraysh. It's a long story. Sayyidina Uthman prolonged his stay in Quraysh. And once he prolonged his stay in Quraysh, we know of the famous story where the Prophet ﷺ gathered his Sahaba. And they went under that tree, Shajaratul Ridwan. And they made bay'ah, where they promised that they will not flee and they will fight to the death. But just as they had made that promise, one of the mushrikeen had come out. And he was the negotiator of the mushrikeen. His name was Suhail ibn Amr. And when the Prophet ﷺ saw him, he said, Sahhal Allahu lakum. Like everything is now easy now. Suhail ibn Amr is here, they're going to negotiate. So he said, any negotiation that Quraysh gives me, I will accept. So Suhail ibn Amr comes and he's talking to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And he says, in the first words, the Prophet is writing the contract. He says, Min Muhammadin Rasulillah ila Suhail ibn Amr. So right in that first sentence, it hasn't even started yet. Suhail ibn Amr says, if we had known that you were a prophet, we wouldn't have fought you. Iktib ismika wa isma abik. Write your name and your father's name. Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib couldn't erase Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah. So Prophet Muhammad came and erased his own name. He'll point for me because he couldn't read. So he pointed and Sayyidina Muhammad erased it. But the crux of this is the next portion. The negotiation was that the Muslimin would return on that day and they wouldn't perform Umrah in that trip. And the second part is anyone of the mushrikeen that becomes a believer, the Muslims have to send him back. And any of the Muslimin that converts back and becomes a mushrik, the Muslims are allowed to leave them and the mushrikeen can accept them. And Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he heard that, even when we hear that now, it's not fair. Why can the Muslimin that go back can go to Quraysh, but the mushrikeen that become Muslim can't come to Medina? So he comes to the Messenger of Allah. He comes to first Sayyidina Abu Bakr, his best friend, Sayyidina Umar's best friend. He says, Ya Abu Bakr, alasna bil Muslimin? Are we not the believers? Alaysu bil mushrikeen? Are they not the disbelievers? فَلِمَا الدَّنِيَّةُ فِي دِينِنَا? Why are we like foregoing something in our religion? Why are we allowing them to have the upper hand? Sayyidina Abu Bakr tells him the statement that stays forever and it should stay in our mind. Ya Umar, innahu Rasulullah, farzim ghalzah, falzim gharzah. And falzim gharzah is a profound way of saying, see where he has stepped and walk right behind him. Don't go right, don't go left, don't even think. If the Prophet ﷺ said it, you do what he said. And right after this moment, just as they were about to head home, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. And the beauty of this is the Prophet Muhammad came to Sayyidina Umar. And he said, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us this is the fath. Right here. And Sayyidina Umar says, O Messenger of Allah, I knew that your opinion was better than mine, that your decision was better than mine. Now, looking at this surah, there is a beautiful ayah that the Shaykh just finished reciting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls the Prophet by his name. And he only does it 4 times in the Quran. But every time he calls the name of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he always connects it to the Risala and the Nubuwwah. That the Prophet Muhammad will never be called by his name, just by his name. But every time is Muhammadun Rasulullah. Muhammad is a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he starts giving explanations of the characteristics of the Sahaba. And these are the characteristics that we should strive for. These are the characteristics that inshallah if we have a fath, a victory. Fath means victory and a conquest will occur. He says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَ أَشِدَّاءَ الْكُفَّارَ رُحَمَاءَ بَيْنَهُمْ. They're strong on the disbelievers, merciful to one another. So that's the question to all of us. The first question, how merciful are we to each other? How merciful are we to each other? Walking out of the masjid, coming into the parking lot. Do you give way for your brother? Or do you have to cut them off to be first? That 1 minute is going to save your life. Do you park in a way to block one of your brothers off that they can't leave? Or do you park correctly? This is what ruhama means. This is how we follow the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, praying is important, don't get me wrong. Salah is crucial. But what use is your salah if you're harming your brothers? What benefit is your salah if you're harming the people around you? And he continues, رُكَّعًا سُجَّدًا يَبْتَغُونَ فَضْلًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانًا. They're calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking for His mercy and His blessings. So this is what we're doing right now. Asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and His blessings. Now on a side note, because the Shaykh is still not here, Sayyidina Bilal ibn Rabah was amongst the people that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, I have seen, O Bilal, that I have heard your footsteps in Jannah. بِمَا سَبَقْتَنَا إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. How did you get to Jannah? Like, how were you amongst the first to enter Jannah? And this goes back to this ayah. Sayyidina Bilal, I want us just to understand who Sayyidina Bilal is. Sayyidina Bilal ibn Rabah is the only Sahabi that was tortured in Mecca that didn't give from his religion. He didn't give the mushrikeen anything that they wanted. Everyone was tortured, everyone gave something up, said something against Islam, said something against the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ammar ibn Yasir, that ayah was revealed about him, where he insulted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, insulted the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if they come back to harm you, insult me again, no problem. Except Sayyidina Bilal ibn Rabah. And then he did hijrah. And then he fought in every battle with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if he was to ask, oh Messenger of Allah, like, of course, all these things, I could have got there from any one of them. He chose one specific thing. He said, O Messenger of Allah, every time I make a hadath, I go to the bathroom, I pass gas, I go and I quickly make wudu. And I pray 2 rak'at. So what does that teach us? It teaches us you don't have to do something extravagant. The small, consistent things is what can make us fall and be like the Sahaba. Doing something that we can do consistently is better than trying to be extravagant. So tonight, yes, strive to do the best that you can. Do as much ibadah as you possibly can. But remember what you did on this night and see what can I continue in the next nights after Ramadan. Because Allah of Ramadan is Allah of Shawwal and Allah of Dhul Hijjah and Allah of Dhul Qiyadah. He continues. Allah does not stop after Ramadan finishes. But we have to remind ourselves that consistency is crucial. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us consistency and grant us Jannah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروا إنه غفور رحيم. جزاكم الله خير.